Yeah, what up? Welcome to Mo Boxing No Problem. I'm Samurai Jr. And for today's post-fight discussion, I'm joined by no other than Ruben from Through the Ropes. What's up, Ruben?
What's up?
Oh man, nothing much. Just another day, another dollar.
Right, another boxing.
Thanks for making the time to talk some boxing.
Yes, sir. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Let's give the people what they want.
Yeah, so I know originally that's going what they want. I know originally we're going to link up, talk about Virgil Ortiz, coming back to the ring, but unfortunately, he got hospitalized. That fight, did not happen. But we had another major fight, which was Edgar Berlanga versus Steve Rolls. So what were your thoughts on that one?
It's like up and down because I feel like Berlanga, he put a bad performance on, and I was really expecting him to come out and really, I guess I was expecting a knockout, to be honest.
So was I. I thought this was the confidence booster because he had so many things going for him. He was up against an old fighter. Steve Rolls is 37 years old. Steve Rolls is originally a middleweight who was not really comfortable fighting 168 pounds. So I thought Berlanga had everything he needed to get his confidence back and get the KO streak going again.
Yeah, everything was set up for him. I mean, it was in New York. It was a Puerto Rican night. He, like you said, he had the right opponent. And I don't know, maybe it was the effects from coming off injury. Because, I remember last fight he messed up his bicep or tore his bicep. Maybe that had a key part to play in it too. But, because there was also a lot of things. I felt like he was just looking for the knockout too. I felt like he was following him. He wasn't really trying to cut off the ring or anything. So, yeah. And then I don't know if it was having a lot of three coaches direct telling him what to do instead of just one solid voice, So
I saw that. So do you know the backstory why he has so many coaches in his corner?
No, I'm not too familiar with that. I thought because when was it? I've always known Berlanga to always have Andre Rozier on, always be the number one voice in his corner, and then I know he had Mickey Bay. And who was the other guy he had in his corner? It was Andre Rozier, Mickey Bay, and another well-known voice that I can't think of right now.
But yeah, it's tough when it's just two voices, but you got three in there.
Yeah,
and I get it. He's young. He's probably still trying to soak up game from everyone else, but it gets tough because there's different opinions in that corner.
Yeah, I guess too much information could be bad information sometimes. Just trying to direct him going. Because like I said, I felt like he was just looking for that knockout. I truly believe that he has boxing ability. And I'm not ready to write Edgar Berlanga off yet. I know Timothy Bradley was dishing it to him at the end of the.
Oh, he was
ripping him. Yeah. I'm not ready to write him off yet. I feel like he's still in love with that KO power. And I feel like as obviously Steve Rolls was, even though he is an older fighter, it was a step up fight for him. Mm-hmm. And it just goes to show that, he could get knockouts against the lesser fighters, but once that competition starts to, get tougher, we've seen now that the last three fights, those knockouts have gone away. When was it? 2 fights ago, he didn't knock the guy out, but he knocked him down 4 times, I think it was.
4 times.
Yeah, so he has power because he did hurt Steve Rolls a couple times, maybe 2 or 3 times that you could notably tell that he was hurt, but he just I don't know if Steve Rolls was landing that right hand also, so maybe that's what was keeping him off. So there was a lot of factors.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you. I'm not quite ready to write off Edgar Berlanga. I still think, if he's matched up correctly and has the time to learn, he could be a contender. But based on this performance right now, I wouldn't put him in with anyone in the top 25.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's hard. It's hard to put him up there with him. And I don't know if this was just me, but I felt like his fans wanted to boo the performance, but they didn't want to. If that makes sense,
Right.
They weren't pleased because everybody was expecting the knockout. Let's be honest. Everybody was expecting the knockout. Steve Rolls, fight that everybody was kind of comparing this to was, let's see how he does. The Triple G knocked him out, so could Berlanga do the same? So
that would have been great for his career. You did mention the KO streak, which I agree 100%. I think that now that they're more bad than good because he fell in love with his power. He got 16 knockouts first round. He felt pretty invincible. And now when guys don't fall after a couple punches or they get back up, he doesn't really know what else to do besides look for that one big punch.
Yeah,
so
and
I think that kind of did hurt him.
Yeah, and even touching on what you're saying on that, there was a point where Andre Rozier was saying, "Don't load up on that right hand. Just touch him. Just throw a straight one." And Edgar Berlanga, when he was throwing that right hand, he would just like bring that like from a windmill position kind of thing, just really load up. Like, I mean,
telegraphed it.
Yeah, like you could tell, like I'm assuming Steve Rolls, I mean, he's been in there with, like I said, he's been in there with Triple G and stuff. So he could probably like suspense that like right hand that like it was loading up. So you could see like he would duck it. And I don't think Berlanga went to the body because I think it was in round 8, he hit him with the body shot. It was on the belt, but I mean, it was a fairly legal body shot, and it hurt Rolls. I remember that, like, ooh, like, this is where it's coming. I think this is where he finally gets him. But, I mean, Rolls was crafty, veteran. He had those rounds under his belt and knew how to survive.
Yeah.
But how'd you score?
He did, and he could.
I was going to say, how'd you score?
I scored it close, so I mean.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people
I think the right guy won. Berlanga won.
Yeah, because a lot of people were saying Robert.
No, I mean.
And I could see Steve Rolls.
I saw that too.
Rounds, like 3 or 4 rounds.
Yeah, I personally gave Steve Rolls 3 rounds, so I gave Berlanga 7. Probably the middle rounds is where I kind of would give something to Rolls, but in the beginning, like, I do agree with Berlanga. I think Rolls was fighting scared, fighting defensive, but that's where it's up to him to cut off the ring and don't have him run around the ring, But I don't think it was a robbery. It was a close fight, and it was definitely an impressive performance. When your own promotion company, Top Rank, doesn't post any highlights of the fight, that's saying something.
I didn't.
That means there really wasn't anything in there. Yeah, if you go to Top Rank Instagram page, the only thing they posted about that fight was a picture of Berlanga with Fat Joe, and it's kind of like they captioned Fat Joe saying, "Proud of you, champ, for being kind of undefeated. You learn through every fight. Like, you learn something through every fight." And that's all Top Rank shared. Like, no clip of like a successful punch or like anything saying like winner. It was just that picture. So I was like, yeah, that's not very confidence building.
Yeah, for sure. You don't want that. Like, if you can't like show after, because I mean, this guy's supposed to be a highlight reel, So if there's nothing to like really show, and like now that you say that, like looking back at the fight now, there wasn't really nothing memorable that like really like stuck out.
Right. Yeah. But no, he won the fight. He won more rounds than Rolls. And he missed an opportunity. Like, to your point, you said, Triple G was willing to stop Steve Rolls. He could have always had the association being the guy that stopped Steve Rolls faster than Triple G or also stopped him. But now he can't claim that.
Yeah, because I know I'm pretty sure, let's say if he would have won by knockout Edgar Berlanga, he would have been like, "Oh, I knocked him out, Triple G knocked it out. Like, let's get it on," And obviously Triple G being older now and Berlanga being a younger guy, like that'd be, kind of like a passing of the knockout artist torch, let's say, because Triple G was like maybe like till a couple years ago, he was knocking everybody out, and then like that kind of stopped too. As soon as he started jumping up in competition, Triple G stopped knocking everybody out also. And then out of nowhere, like now this young hot kid knocking everybody out in the first round, like everybody gets excited and stuff. So I mean, like the commentators were saying, like he was there, like the night was built up for a reason. He just failed to shine.
He did, and I think he mentioned too that he hurt his elbow. I think in the second round, maybe that played a factor in his performance.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It was 4 months, and he did have surgery, and it looks like Bob Arum schedules his fights every so often because he's back again in June.
Yeah, because I know
he's not. He's only.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he's back again in June, so I was like, that's not going to be a lot of time to really watch the tape and improve in 3 months.
Yeah, for sure, and I feel like especially right now, since Puerto Rico's looking for the next mega superstar, since Miguel Cotto's left, there hasn't really been a standout superstar from Puerto Rico. I mean, yeah, I mean, we had like Danny, but you know, like I'm talking about like a very big superstar, and I feel like that's what Top Rank wants to do with Berlanga. And I'm saying that because June's the eve of the Puerto Rican Day Parade out there in New York, so that's also, you know, big money fight. Like if they can get him promoted and going good again, Top Rank, you know, that's dollar signs Top Rank sees right there. So
yeah, absolutely. So they're milking the Puerto Rican background for sure.
Yeah, like I said, and it's good for boxing too to have a good Puerto Rican superstar. You know, it really is good for boxing.
Yeah, it is. So where do you think Steve Rolls goes from here? You know, like because he didn't win, but he also didn't get knocked out. So I think his stock is up.
Yeah,
everyone was expecting him to lose by knockout.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think Steve Rolls, I mean, he could fight someone else too, maybe even try to compete, try to have someone in the top 10 kind of like as a tune-up fight for whoever is trying to, you know, look good. And I guess, all right, well, Berlanga couldn't beat him. I'll beat him good, you know? So I think that's where he goes from now. Hey, I mean, shit, give him to Benavidez.
Benavidez for sure. You know who else I was thinking?
Who?
David Lemieux.
Yeah.
Because they're both Canadians. You know, imagine hosting that like somewhere in Canada. That could be a big domestic fight.
Yeah, because it's hyped that because they're supposed to fight Benavidez and Lemieux next, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, if everything goes how I'm predicting, I think Benavidez is going to win, and then just have those the two losers face off each other, and then obviously, you know, the winner of that fight is going to, you know, stay in contention, and then the losers kind of be in no man's land.
Yeah, exactly. So I can see it playing out either a big Canadian fight with Lemieux or, you know, kind of someone else that's trying to take that next step. You know, because Steve Rolls at this point, if he stays at 168, he's going to be kind of gatekeeper status.
Yeah, that's how I see it. I mean, but I feel like this was a gatekeeper fight for him regardless.
For sure. Yeah. So what about Edgar Berlanga? What do you see next for him?
I see him. They better really consider, like, really analyze his very next opponent. Like, I feel like he has to look. If he doesn't get a knockout, he has to look good. I feel like he has to demonstrate more than just power. I feel like he has to show some boxing ability to show like that other factor. Because when he was because it was true. I forgot who said it, but they were like, "Oh, he's only throwing like a jab. He's really not doubling it up. He's throwing it all at the same speed." And I don't like, and I'm like you said, like how we both said, like, I'm not ready to write him off just yet. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like you said, I don't think he should fight no one in the top 15. You know, give him a couple more fights, let him get his confidence back up.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is why I think maybe he should take a step back, you know, especially because it's going to be such a quick turnaround time. You know, he's got 3 months to prepare. You know, go with someone that doesn't, maybe it's just a 500 fighter, you know, same kind of wins and losses, just someone to get his confidence back, get a good highlight reel. Yeah,
because I mean, you know who I thought, Xander Zayas outshined him.
He did. He looked really good.
I was very impressed by Xander Zayas. I mean, I was already before, but I mean, I feel like the maturity he showed, like in this fight, when he was like, "All right, I'm landing, but I'm not really I'm not gonna get him out of there." Like, he didn't really try. He was showing poise. He was boxing. He was giving angles. You know, I was like, man, this kid. If I would have to put stock in between Berlanga and Xander Zayas to see the next Puerto Rican superstar, it'd be Zayas 100%.
Yeah, I had to double check that he was 19 because he was very mature in that range.
Yeah, right. Beyond. I was like, man, like, that's crazy to think too. Even I was watching the fight with my girlfriend, and she was like, "Damn, he's only 19." I'm like, "Yeah, that's crazy, ain't it?" Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I think either Berlanga or Sander Sanchez is probably going to be the next one to hold the torch for Puerto Rico. I think we had Sniper Pedraza that kind of was being pinpointed for that, and what's the name of the other Puerto Rican that got himself into legal trouble?
Oh, Felix Verdejo.
Yeah, Felix Verdejo, which I was high on him too. He was, you know, skilled, but then
I liked how he fight. He had a very warrior. I mean, besides what he did, obviously what he did outside of the ring, that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, something
yeah, but
else,
like inside the ring, I like the way he fought. I mean, he brought it forward. He had skill, a lot of heart, and he was willing to, trade punches in there, and it would always make for exciting fights. I feel like because I'm Mexican, and I feel like Puerto Ricans and Mexicans kind of demand the same thing about with their fighters. Willing to trade, willing to show that warrior heart.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I was also looking at who Berlanga fights after June, and I was still thinking someone outside the top 25. And I was thinking like, Saki Obika. That's a name. I know he fought last year and he's 42, but that's a name he can put on his resume. There's the guy that also Dave Benavidez fought and beat, Kyrone Davis.
Yeah. I have to
read that one too.
Think about that one.
Yeah, and then Alante Fox, who was in the ring with Andrade. I think he was with other people too there. Dave Morrell, Liam Williams, and then finally, I was thinking maybe Ronald Ellis, which is another Benavidez victim.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah,
I'd say anybody that has that of Benavidez or the Andrade opponent would be good. Just because they already have that, like, they went up against him. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, that you got that comparison and that linkage already, so you start building up to a fight with a Benavidez or Andrade down the line.
Yes, even though I feel like Berlanga shouldn't go anywhere near them right now.
No, definitely not 2022. Yeah. 2023 is still a stretch, but he just needs to start cutting off the ring, getting back to some of the boxing fundamentals. Because I heard he was pretty good as an amateur. He was a good boxer, and then his growth spurt came and his power came, and
fell in love.
He didn't really have to fall in love. Didn't really have to focus on anything else but that power punch.
Yeah, because like I said, like he that's what I hear too, that he has boxing skills, and let's say if he starts boxing and countering people, making them pay, especially with that power, I feel like that's when the knockouts are going to start coming back again. When he's not looking for it, instead of it just flowing and letting it come.
Absolutely, I agree. And I think that's everything that we had to say on that fight, man. Really enjoyed talking boxing with you. Why don't you tell our listeners and viewers where they can find you?
Find me on Through the Ropes on Instagram and on Through the Ropes on YouTube. And that's pretty much all I got.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, thanks for coming. We'll definitely have to chop it up in the future and talk another big boxing fight.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
All right. Have a good one. Everyone like and share this video and